Hi guys, it's Linda with No Frills ASMR. So, I am recently back from a trip to the Red River Gorge, and that is in Kentucky. And we had our family reunion at the Red River Gorge. So, I just thought I'd talk to you a little bit about some of the hikes we did and where we stayed and things we did while we were there. So hopefully you'll find that relaxing. So the Red River Gorge. Well, here, look, I have this. Let's see, is in Kentucky. And we had been before the reunion. One of my cousin's daughter, my cousin once removed, had a wedding in Indiana. And so basically the whole family went to the wedding, and then we all drove to Kentucky for the family reunion. And I think we were there 5 nights. Yeah, I think 5 nights. And it was real fun. I tried to pick up some paperwork to kind of show you guys. So we'll look at that. First, I'll tell you about the place we stayed. It was called the Cliffview Lodge. I didn't get a good photo of it. And this one, my whole family's actually standing here, but I cut us out so that you don't have to look at all us being goofy. But it was like a big lodge, but it was sort of that log cabin feel to it. It was really cool. And we have, I think we have over, I don't know, we have 60 people now in our family reunion. It's big, it's getting really big. And this place was pretty cool. It kind of was set up all around the entire outside is a big, and this is bigger than I'm showing. Objects are larger than they appear. Porch that goes around the entire building. So on the back side, there are all these swinging chairs, and other kinds of seats. And then you have a view of the gorge, which is here. This is the gorge and the gorge is kind of mostly trees. It's not like a Grand Canyon. It's very green. And then right here is a zip line, which was kind of fun to watch. You could watch people coming in. And then the front door of the building is here. And over here was a big hall-like room. And it held all 60 of us easy. I think there were extra seats. So, and out here, right below the back porch, they did have a area with what do you call it? An arch where you could get married. And I could see how you could get married here and then have your reception. It was kind of cool. And over here, there's a kitchen here. This is the kitchen that you could use. And refrigerator, an extra refrigerator here. And then this was they served breakfast. And it was just a big long table. Not for sitting, but for serving. And then there were some sitting tables over here. And we basically had these set up with games and puzzles. And everybody hung out. Really, even though this room's huge, everybody hung out in this room. Because it was cozy. Over here, there were sofas. There was a sofa here and a sofa here and a TV. So some people would sit and watch hockey or whatever was going on. And then there's a stairway here that leads to the upper part of the building. And back here, these are all rooms. And I don't know why, but I had the room right here, right where you walk out into which was fine, but I felt I don't know why they didn't give that to like the older folks. But anyway, that's the room we have. And then each of these rooms has a sliding door that goes to the back porch. So that was really cool. And there's multiple, I don't know if there were 2 or 3 stories in this building. I never even went upstairs. But anyway, that was cool. So we had the entire lodge. Plus, because we have such a big group, we also rented a house. They have all these houses nearby that are owned by the same Cliffview Resort company. I don't know. And so all the young folks, and I mean like 40 and under, were in this giant house that had hot tubs. It was really cool. It was a cool house. But to be honest, they all ended up coming out and hanging out here because even though we're the old folks, we're the fun folks. They all wanted to be with us. Anyway, all right. So that was basically the place we stayed. It was pretty cool. So the first night there, some people went out putt-putting. I didn't do that. There's a little more to that story, but I didn't do it because I don't know. I've done enough putt-putting in my life, I guess. But the second day we were there, a group of us, let's see, took a hike to this map's confusing. Natural Bridge State Resort Park. So I don't remember where we were on this map. Oh, wait. Let's see. This is Natural Bridge map. Okay. So on this map, there is this restaurant lodge called Hemlock Lodge and Restaurant. By the way, one night we ate dinner there. It's good. If you're there, it's like not too pricey and kind of nice, just like a family restaurant. Nothing fancy, you know. But we took this hike up to Natural Bridge. And to be honest, on this map, I'm not sure exactly where we started, but we had read about it and we thought we'd pull into the parking lot down below and hike up. And that would have been fine, but we had with us my dad, he's in really good shape, but he's getting older. He has dementia, he has Alzheimer's, but he also has some vision problems, especially directly like in front of him. It's kind of like a black spot, I think. And the trail, we had understood it wasn't difficult and that it wasn't long. And the first part wasn't too bad. We were kind of hiking along, you know, it's okay. But it started to get a little more steep and a little more steep, and now we're already in it. And we didn't think it was very long. Well, pretty soon we each have to have an arm and kind of helping my dad up. And then it got to a point where he was just so exhausted. So it was kind of a bummer. He didn't make it all the way to the top, even though he was like so close. I mean, very close, but he was just absolutely exhausted. So we had somebody stay with him, and some of us went to the top, and then we kind of took turns staying with him while we went to the top. But as I learned later, if we had gone to the parking lot at Hemlock Lodge, it could have been a very short hike, a very steep but short hike to the Indian staircase, or not Indian staircase, the Natural Bridge. But we took this much longer version. So that was kind of a bummer. But the Natural Bridge is pretty cool. Like here we are walking. There's like a little narrow part you go through to get up to where the hold on. I don't have these pictures in very good order. But this is the natural bridge. And so you hike up here and you go through that narrow passageway and then you climb up and you actually walk on top of this. Do I have a picture of that? I don't know if I do. I don't think so. But anyway, it was pretty and steep. It's hard because if it were just like me and my boys, I would be like, oh yeah, it's totally doable hike to start at the bottom. But if you have anybody who's older with you or vision problems, it is tricky, steep, like the rocks. It's all rocks. It's not like steps. They're all uneven. So it's tricky. So we ended up each taking, my dad had an arm on my one son and an arm on my other son, and they helped him get down. And then we sat in the parking lot near Hemlock Lodge. I sat with him, and the boys went down and got the car and drove it up, and we picked him up. Because, yeah, that ended up being a little more strenuous than like All Trails had said. But, All Trails is written by, like, if you're young, it's fine. So anyway, then on the way home, we stopped here at Miguel's Pizza. And there's a whole area out here you can sit at tables outside. And that was good. We were hungry. And I don't drink like soda pop very much anymore because it's just not good for you. But I definitely got a Coca-Cola and enjoyed it. Oh, I know what else. What is this? Is this taking you to the staircase? Because somehow we were up there and all of a sudden these old people were up there and we were like, how'd they get up here? So they took a sky lift up. There's the natural bridge right there. I see. So, but my dad wouldn't take a sky lift. He doesn't trust those things. Huh. I wonder which trail I'm not even sure. Oh, here's mini golf though. That must have been where people were talking about going. And there are all these campgrounds like in cottages if you don't have a big group. Yeah, it was pretty, very pretty. So yeah, that was kind of day one. We had the pizza and we did that walk. And I guess we must have gone back and played games. I can't really remember. I mean, when you have that many people, you just end up chit-chatting a lot. And that takes up a lot of time. The second day, my sons, let's see, do I have it here? Hold on. I thought I had a picture. Anyway, I can't believe I don't have this picture. My sons went with their cousins, and they did rock climbing, like legit rock climbing. I can't recall what I was doing that day. I was doing something with my parents, I think, but I just can't remember what. Anyway, and so they went rock climbing. I just can't think of what I was doing. But that area, apparently it's like internationally known for rock climbing. And I wish I had the picture, you guys, because it was really cool what they did. I don't have it, darn it. Anyway, let me look one other place. Hold on. Nope. This is where we stayed in Columbus, Indiana. It was this really old house. It was pretty cool. That was fun. That was an Airbnb. Okay. Oh, here's the picture. I found it. So there they are rock climbing. I mean, can you imagine? And I think that the guys that they were with, who are like my cousin's kids, they are really good at this. They rock climb. Like one of them works at a climbing facility, I think. And so they're really good at it. But my sons haven't really done it that much. And so they did it, but got a little nervous. But my son's girlfriend who was there, she's just one of these people who will do anything. Like, she's super, like, physically fit, and she just climbed right up, no problem. And they were like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so that was fun. Okay, so then they did that, and that night, I think one thing maybe, I don't know. I know I did something with my sister, and I can't think of what I did. But anyway, that night they made hamburgers on these, at the lodge right here. They had, I think, 3 maybe of those black stone grills. Man, I want one of those now. It's like a flat top grill. Excuse me. But it kind of goes, I think, a little bit back like this into a drain. So the grease drains all the time. And then it's a throwaway thing that you pull the grease out of, I think. But so they made smash burgers for like everybody. And so there was a whole lineup of people smashing the burgers. That was really fun. And they were yummy. And they made vegetarian burgers for some people too. Yeah, so that was fun. And I think right near this lodge, there was I'd call it a small pond with a tiny little dock. And so we did get the fishing poles out and just kind of goofed around fishing. But, you know, I don't know. That was just whatever. And what else did we do that night? I think we just played games and hung around. I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff. So then, let's see. The next day, my one son and his girlfriend had to fly out. So I drove them from... So we were like in this Daniel Boone National Forest. So I drove them into Lexington and dropped them off at the airport and drove back. But like this county, is that county called Bourbon? I think it is. But when you're driving along, you see all the, signs for the bourbon distilleries and horse. You start to see horse pastures, I guess you call them, around this area. But this isn't where the Kentucky Derby's run. I'm not sure where that is, actually. But anyway, so I dropped them off, and that was pretty simple, actually. And then I got back, and the guys I was showing you who do the climbing and my other son, they were about to go hike Indian Staircase. And they're like, you should come. And I said, okay. So I was the oldest person who tried to do the Indian Staircase. And then and I was the only woman. It was all guys. But anyway, so we drove up there. And I think that I have my timeline wrong about something, but that's okay. I think that Indian Staircase doesn't show up on these hiking maps because it's not like officially designated by the state parks because it's not totally safe, I'm gonna say. I could be wrong about that, but I think I wish I knew what this map, I can't figure this map out. Oh, I see. I think we were staying down here in Indian Staircase this year somewhere. And in here is this tunnel that's pretty cool. But like I said, I think maybe it's not actually on this map, but I feel like it's like up here. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so there is a tunnel along the way that's cut out of the stone in the mountain. Oops. And it's kind of cool. It's a 1-car only tunnel. I took that picture. I actually thought I took a video to show you guys. I did try to take pictures, like to show you guys, by the way. I was thinking of you. Look at that tunnel. Isn't that cool? So you drive, look, you drive right through that. Anyway, okay. Excuse me. So then we went to the Indian staircase. And I'm trying to see if there are pictures I can kind of show you while we talk about it. Hold on real quick. But it was a beautiful hike. You know, kind of like a little bit of rugged stuff. And the young guys who were leading the pack, my cousin's kids, they hike fast, like real fast. And I admit that I was challenged, but I wasn't going to let, a bunch of young guys show me up. So I was like, I'm fine. And my son kept looking, going, you all right? You want to rest? I'm like, no, I'm fine. But we were with these 3 other guys who were not in the same kind of shape that the young guys were in. And they were much younger than me, but they were struggling a little bit. So they were the ones who had to say, break, we got to take a break. And I was like, trying to pretend like I wasn't breathing heavy. I'm like, I'm fine. But I wasn't going to let them have to hold up on account of me. And they never did, so I was proud of that. But anyway, it was a lot of rocky terrain. Really beautiful. But I want to show you, here's sort of a area. And they actually have a fence around part of this area with this plant that is, what's the word? Like beyond endangered. I don't know, maybe endangered's the word. And I think it's the only place that's left maybe in the world is in this area. And it has all these signs that if you try to steal it, they're big fines. It was pretty cool. I should have remembered the name of it, but I don't remember. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Oh, shoot. I'm trying to get a visual for you here. So it's impossible to show. But you climb and climb, and then you get to here, and you basically climb up this right here to the top. And there's some fun things like these. You put your feet in and your hands in, and you kind of pull yourself. But here's an image. See, the people are here. So you climb to here, you've climbed up here, and then they have those handholds, and you climb up all this. And I promise you, when I was on it, it did not feel this steep. I told my son, I questioned this photo. He said, no. I'm like, I think it's angled. I think it's like this. Because I don't think I would have done that. And see how these trees, I think it's like this. It did not feel this kind of steep to me. But anyway, but if it were rainy or if there was a thunderstorm, I wouldn't do this because these could definitely get slick. And there's no, wires or ropes. You're just hand holding onto it. But it's not, I don't know. It's pretty steep, but I don't feel like it's quite this steep. Anyway, so you come up here. And then what's funny is, now I don't know where I can't find this one spot on this picture, but there came to this spot where there was a very steep rock. Hold on. Where's the piece of paper? All right, I'll just use this. There's this spot where there's a rock and it kind of goes like that, and it was pretty steep. It was more steep than this. Let me even make it a little more steep. It was like that. So there was a handhold kind of here that I got into and a foothold here. So you get your 2 hands here, you're okay. You get a hand kind of up, kind of clinging here, and a hand here. And my cousins, once removed, whatever you want to call them, young men, they were up here. And the one guy, he runs not runs, but works at a climbing gym, so he knows what he's doing. And he's like, you can do it. And he goes, all you got to do is put your foot in this hole. Well, I'm kind of short, so I could like get my foot here, but I couldn't get it into the hole. But now I'm like way off the ground. And I literally started to think, I'm going to fall backwards. Like, I'm not sure I can do this. But I managed to get like my one little hand to here somehow. So I'm kind of like, I guess I'm like here, but I can't get my foot in this hole somehow. And then I'm going, oh no, I'm going to die. And I don't know how he did it, but this kid and his brother, they grabbed my wrist and the two of them pulled me up. And I'm not little, you know. They pulled me up from here. I'm sure I started using my feet, but to here. And I was like, whoa. I don't know how they did it. So then I'm all worried because I'm like, I don't know how these other three guys who were behind me, who were in worse shape than I was, are going to make, and also bigger than me. How are they going to get up here? And here I am. I stand up here and I'm like, yay, I did it. And these three guys come walking over here. And apparently there was a much less steep route going this direction. But I followed the climber guys and they're like, you can do it. And I thought this was the only way. But anyway, I did it. And I was very proud of myself. So that leads me to believe there is this steep, but there might be a more not so steep part. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, so then you make it to the top here, right? And, oops, hold on. All right. So this was the view from the top. And I don't know if this was it or if it was a little further up, but there was a fire pit. And I think that in this park you can backcountry camp anywhere, which I do sometimes, you know, because we backpack. But I tell you what, if you climbed up here at night in the nighttime and then set up camp and didn't know, you could so easily walk off in this direction or this direction and just go off a cliff. And I mean a sudden, like, here's where you'd camp. You could just go off the cliff. So this was walking back after we climbed up to the top. We're walking on the trail back, and it's so hard to capture how steep. Like, this is me walking, standing right here, and I just took my phone and took this picture. This is the top of a tree. This is the top of trees. Like, it's a literal cliff. Like, maybe you could grab onto this rhododendron. Maybe not. I don't know. So it was all very exciting and fun. I had a great time and loved it. But I could see how some people, especially if you had a fear of heights, that could be a very scary thing for you. So, and then this was on the way back. That's one thing about this area. There are all these natural arches all over it, and they're just so cool. Like, you could walk standing up underneath this. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was beautiful. So that was fun. I'm looking to see if I have any other pictures. Okay. So, and then one day, I guess it was the day before this, because it was before I dropped my son off at the airport, but we did this Soar the Gorge zipline. And I had only done like one zipline before, and it was at the Olympic Park in Park City, Utah, and it was sort of one zipline. But this one, I think it may have been, we got a discount because there were a whole bunch of us, But I think it was like $70 person or something. So it's not like super inexpensive. But I think you do 6 zip lines. And it was fun. It was a fun thing to do for the day. It was all sort of exciting. And there was sort of a little bit of a like ropes course kind of thing in there. And you go over the gorge. Yeah, it was fun. So that was cool. And the other thing we did, I don't have any. Look at this. I brought all these paperwork to show you. Look. Oh, that's different. Why do I have... Okay, we did do this gorge underground. And I was just thinking, and we had 2 different groups. No, we had 3. I take back. We had 3 groups. And the first group went on they don't show it, but they have a pontoon boat that they take you on. So, like, my brother has a broken ankle, so he's on like a knee scooter. So him and then some of the people who are a little bit older who didn't want to kayak, they took the pontoon. And then we had 2 groups of kayakers. And so it's sort of interesting. I mean, it was certainly worth doing, fun to do. But here we are all in our kayaks. My son took this arty picture, it's in an old, I want to say it's a mine. So it's not like it's a natural cave. And the guy who was leading us, one of the guys, he said that as a kid, they used to go in here. It was, I guess, owned by the mine, but then they stopped using it. They used to have to pump all the water out of it. But then it had water in it, and he and his buddies would just go in there and paddle around and swim and stuff. It was fun, and it was, something to do. I don't know. It was interesting. It wasn't like the best thing I've done, but it was kind of cool. And we did see these people go by, and they had the clear kayaks with the LED lights. And I tell you, they looked cool, like, from our point of view. But we kind of felt like if you were on them, what was kind of neat about this is sometimes they turn off all the lights, and it's pitch black. And you're on the boat, And they had, like, this one, he goes, "We'll see how long you can stay quiet." The longest ever was 2 minutes or something. And the group of our family was like, they don't understand how competitive we are. And so they sat there in silence until he was finally like, okay, let's go. Anyway, so that was interesting. It was kind of fun. I don't know if they didn't have enough kayaks or what, but my sister and I shared a double kayak. And yeah, that was good. It was kind of fun. Here you are, here, just kind of getting ready and stuff. So they give you like a little life jacket and you get on. I think anybody of any age, pretty much could do that. If you can get in and out of the kayak, that's probably the most difficult part. Yeah. So the day that I did Indian Staircase, the group who didn't do that, which was quite a few people, went to this. Oh, I should have looked at this map. Anyway, I didn't get paperwork for it, but there's a reptile zoo somewhere near there. So they went to that, and they said that was cool. And there was a guy there who milks the snake's venom. Like, you take the teeth and you go and you get the venom out. And apparently they use that for lupus. I don't know. I wasn't there, but. And then they went out to Mexican, I think, that day. I don't know. I missed all that. So then the last day we were there, I'm just looking at this map now. This map's kind of cute. I mean, I like it that it has all this. Oh, we went out to a, what do you call it? Brewery, like restaurant for lunch one day. That's something else we did. It was okay. So then the last day we were there, my brother had broken, his ankle before we went, and he is on a knee scooter. And then, like I don't know if my dad has, the vision, so we were looking for a flat trail that we could all hike together. So a lot of research went into that, and we found a trail that said it's accessible. Accessible. Am I saying that right? It sounds wrong. Anyway, I can't remember what the name of that trail was right now, but it might have been this chimney top. Anyway, I think it was. And it said easy accessible. Well, somehow my brother made it to the end of that trail, and it is pretty flat, but it's not like wheelchair friendly. Like there would still be rocks like this, like a rock, and we'd have to go over it. And he was using his crutches. I don't know how he made it, honestly. I don't think I have a picture of that trail, but the end view is beautiful. And if you're, I would call that trail easy if you can walk, but not if it's not like bring your wheelchair. It's not that level. I don't know if there is a trail at the park that you could take a wheelchair on. I don't think so. So anyway, that trail was nice. And then that night, we were going to go look at all the stars. And my one cousin said he had all these black lights, and he was trying to get a group to go out looking for bioluminescent things. And at first I wasn't really listening to him because I was talking to somebody else, and he goes, "Come on, let's go." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going," because I was in the middle of a conversation. And then when I stopped conversing and thought about it, I'm like, "Oh no, I definitely want to do that." So I go find him. I'm like, "What's going on? Are we going?" And he said, "Nobody wants to go." So then we rallied the troops, and we got a big group together, and we went out with our black lights in the pitch black and scared, all the people who are scared. We were telling scary stories and stuff. But look, so you take the black lights and you shine them around, and there's like this, what do you call that, like lichen or something on the trees, and there's some, millipedes. I think they're millipedes that just glow. And it's crazy that I never knew that before. So now I feel like I'm going to research this and do a video just on what is happening here. We saw a bunch of these glowing millipedes or whatever they are. So you just buy these like black lights on Amazon and go out in the woods and look around. It was really cool. I was like, that was cool. And then we all looked at the stars and saw some shooting stars, and I think that was our last night there. We had like a ice cream social and took a big picture with everybody, and then it turned into all of us were very competitive, competing for who could touch their toes. I don't know. I can not only touch my toes, but I can put my hands flat on the ground. So I didn't win because there are some people who do gymnastics, but I did pretty good. And my dad, who's in his 80s, he's like looking like, "What are you guys all doing?" And he goes and he puts his hands like flat on the ground. And they're all like, "Wow." He's in good shape. Anyway, so it was all very fun. Very fun. And if you're planning a family reunion, I can definitely recommend Cliffview Resort. The people there were super nice. All the things we wanted to do, like the kayaking and the ziplining, we had called and some of them said, "Oh, we're too full." And they somehow got us reservations, got us discounts to the places. I think I don't remember if it was 10 or 20% off. It was a pretty good deal. So yeah, totally recommend. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But even if you just, like my one cousin had a convertible and they just put the top down and drove the roads. And that was fun. Normally they would take their motorcycles, but they didn't. They had the convertible this time instead. I think that's everything. I think that's everything we did. We did one night order Miguel's Inn, and we all ate pizza. And we had a baby shower while we were there. I can't think anything else. All right, guys. Well, I will talk to you later. Oh, that's our place. That's where we stayed. That's right. I forgot I had that many porches. So it's 1, 2, 3. Yep. Cliffview, Red River Gorge. I guess we were here in Cliffview. That doesn't seem right. Oh, and my son saved a turtle. It was like they show a turtle in the road. That's exactly what happened. The turtle was blocking the road, so he went and he saved it. But we didn't see a